A small apartment can still support a Lego hobby that feels intentional and adult. The trick is treating display as part of the buying decision, not as an afterthought after the build is done. When space is limited, the wrong first purchase creates clutter, stress, and constant reshuffling of shelves. That makes Lego feel like work. A compact set with a clean silhouette can feel premium because it earns its place in the room. A vertical build like Lego Orchid uses height with a tight base. A contained display like Lego Bonsai Tree stays inside one clear boundary. This guide is about protecting your home first, then choosing sets that fit the home. When the room stays calm, you build more often and you keep sets on display longer. The goal is a collection that looks planned, not accumulated. Most people do not run out of interest. They run out of surfaces. Small homes have fewer deep shelves, less wall space that you control, and more shared areas that must stay visually quiet. A kitchen counter is not really yours. A small table often has multiple jobs. A single large footprint set can block storage access, steal light from a window, and force you to move daily items every time you walk past it. That friction turns a hobby into a maintenance task. Many buyers try to solve this by buying only tiny sets, but that can create another problem. Too many small items scatter attention and read as visual noise. Sets like Lego Flower Bouquet or Lego Succulents work because they give you a unified shape, not because they are small. The core problem is not size alone. It is footprint, dust exposure, sunlight, and how the set competes with daily life in one shared room. In a small apartment, the guiding rule is simple. Buy sets that have a predictable footprint and a clear display boundary. Footprint means the base area the set occupies and the clearance it needs around it. Boundary means the set can sit on a tray, a shelf section, or a wall frame without spilling into the rest of the room. A set can have many pieces and still be apartment-friendly if it stays inside a tight perimeter, or if it uses height instead of depth. Lego tiny plants are designed as multiple small displays you can group into one tray, which makes the boundary obvious. Lego Vespa is a single object that reads like decor on a shelf. Piece count tells you time and repetition. Footprint tells you whether the set will fit your room for months. If you buy by footprint first, you can still choose challenging builds without losing control of your space and your routines. Start with 3 zones and measure them. A narrow shelf zone for objects under a handspan of depth. A top of cabinet zone that can hold taller builds but must stay stable and not wobble. And a wall zone for flat art. For each zone, decide what you can commit to permanently. Permanent means you will not need that surface for keys, chargers, groceries, or laundry sorting. If a surface has a daily job, it is not a display zone. When you do this, you stop shopping in a vague way and start shopping for a slot. Lego Dried Flower Centerpiece works well in a narrow shelf zone when placed on a tray that defines its boundary. Lego Hokusai. The Great Wave works in the wall zone because it converts the hobby into wall decor, which is often the safest space in a small apartment. This one step reduces regret because every purchase has a planned home before you click buy. Vertical sets are the easiest way to keep a room feeling open. They use height, not depth, and they look intentional from across the room. They also stay readable when you can only see them from 1 or 2 angles. Botanical builds are reliable here because they read like plants, and people expect them to live on small surfaces. Lego Orchid gives you height with a tight base. Lego Wildflower Bouquet gives you volume, but you control the container and can keep the footprint small. Lego Bonsai Tree stays compact and can be moved for cleaning without losing parts. If you want variety without spreading out, use grouped mini builds like Lego Tiny Plants on a shallow tray. The decision is not botanical versus non-botanical. The decision is whether the set creates one strong silhouette that can live beside books and lamps without demanding an entire shelf. Shelf-friendly sets behave like objects. They have a clear front, a clean back, and they look finished from one main angle. Scene builds need breathing room on all sides, which apartments rarely provide. If you push a scene set against a wall, it can look unfinished and it becomes harder to clean around it. Vehicle and object sets are often safer. Lego Porsche 911 reads like a model on a shelf and does not need wide staging. Lego Vespa is similar, with a compact footprint and a strong outline. A cabin-style display like Lego A-frame cabin can work if you treat it as a single focal piece and give it a dedicated surface, but it is less forgiving because it wants depth and surrounding space. When you choose object sets first, you can fit Lego into existing furniture. A scene set often forces you to buy new furniture or to sacrifice everyday storage. Wall display is a hidden advantage in small apartments. It uses space you cannot use for storage anyway, and it keeps sets away from pets, sunlight on windowsills, and accidental bumps. Lego art sets work as controlled rectangles. Lego modern art can be treated like a modular frame system that fits a specific wall section and can be adjusted later without changing the footprint. Lego Hokusai. The Great Wave is a single cohesive image that looks finished in a living room and does not compete with other decor. The key is choosing one wall location and keeping it consistent. When wall space becomes part of your plan, you can buy one larger display piece without crowding shelves. This also helps roommates and partners because wall art reads like decor, not like clutter on shared surfaces. A small apartment collection should not be permanently visible in full. Rotation is not failure. It is a system that protects space and keeps the hobby fresh. Choose a display limit, such as 2 shelves and 1 tabletop. Everything else lives in labeled boxes. Then swap displays on a predictable rhythm, such as each season or after each major build. Rotation works best with sets that move as a unit. Lego flower bouquet can be transported as a single cluster when you keep it in a container. Lego succulents can be arranged on a tray so they move as one object. Lego tiny plants can be stored in a shallow box with dividers. Lego Porsche 911 can be lifted in one motion for dusting. Add a maintenance rule. Once a month, lift each display. Wipe the surface and use a soft brush for the set. If maintenance feels easy, you keep sets out longer and you buy more thoughtfully. Some sets are excellent, but they are not smart first buys for small apartments. The warning sign is a wide footprint combined with display demand on all sides. Large landmark builds and long vehicles can dominate a room and force you into awkward layout compromises. Lego Colosseum is impressive, but it demands a large dedicated surface and it collects dust across a wide top area. Lego Eiffel Tower is tall and iconic, but the footprint and height make it hard to place safely near a wall without feeling like it is crowding the room. Another warning sign is a set that forces you to store many loose accessories nearby because small parts migrate across a small home quickly. If you start with a set like this, you may end up packing it away, which creates regret. Start with controlled footprint sets first. Earn the right to add one giant centerpiece later when you have proven your display system works. If you live in a small apartment and you want a safe first step, start with one vertical botanical set, one shelf object, and one wall piece. That combination spreads the hobby across zones and prevents shelf overload. A practical stack is Lego Orchid for a narrow surface, Lego Vespa for a shelf object, and Lego Hokusai the Great Wave for the wall. If you prefer a calmer, more organic look, swap the Orchid for Lego Bonsai Tree. This stack also stays gift-friendly and easy to explain to friends and family, which helps you avoid random sets that do not fit your space. After you build this stack, wait 2 weeks before adding anything else. If you still like the look and the maintenance feels easy, add one more set only when you can name its exact slot in your room and the box storage plan you will use. Your next step is to turn space into a permanent filter. Write one rule in your notes. No new set enters the home without a planned display slot and a storage plan for the box and spare parts. When you keep that rule, you can enjoy Lego long-term even in a small apartment. You will buy fewer sets that you later hide, and you will build a collection that looks intentional. If you want an easy follow-up purchase after your first success, choose a compact centerpiece, like Lego Dried Flower Centerpiece, or choose a small grouped display like Lego Tiny Plants that can sit on a tray. For the full buying order logic and the bigger collection strategy, watch the long guide on the channel that matches your favorite theme and your space constraints. This video is your apartment framework. The rest of the channel applies the same framework to every theme.